Right. I've just had a good kip. Wicked little kip. Let me show people the back of my little van. Whoa. It's not a van, it's a car. It's a big car. Biggest car on the road, man. But yeah, basically. Oh. Whoa. That's me fully laid down. Got all my shit in here, tools in there. I've got actually too much stuff. Clothes, 3 things of clothes, towels, shit like that. This needs to come out, which is a tarpaulin I bought, which is like a fucking massive fucking tarpaulin that I might do something with. I've got to get this out, but this cost me fucking 90 fucking quid. And I've got like fucking one of them IKEA wash bag things for my washing and all of that. So this is actually fucking. Ugh. This is on that stand. It doesn't work, but I've got cup holders in the back here. I've got fucking all the seats. Literally, just this is a galaxy. All the seats fold down electronically. It's got tinted windows in the back, blacked out windows, so you know. I mean, I can kip anywhere now. I can literally just kip anywhere. I'm in a car park. Just in a car park at the minute. I kip anywhere. I don't give a fuck. A fucking bunch of fucking little wimp mental patients. So I don't give a fuck. Where I stayed in fucking Milton Keynes was just next to a fucking road. Like, I just fucking kip anywhere. I lived there for fucking 8 months. I kip anywhere. Travel anywhere. Sleep anywhere. Good luck to anyone who wants to try and get in here. Good fucking luck. So I couldn't give a fuck about a little wacko mental patient wimp. You know. I didn't give a fuck about them before. I definitely don't give a fuck about them now. And I'm protected. Will die, or whatever happens, as and when it happens, will be because it's written there that train me. Now, what I was saying before, actually I might just leave it at that. I was actually talking and my video just fucking cut off. I've got to stop making videos. So now I'm telling myself, and I've got to stop drinking coffee. Today I've had 2 cups. I'm not going to have any more. I've gone up to like 4 or 5 cups in a day. So I've got to wean myself off. Start with 2 cups a day. It's expensive, man. I can't be spending fucking 70 fucking pound a week on fucking coffee. It's a lot of money. But I've got to go to work and earn, and I'm wasting it on drugs, which is another drug. I don't even need it. I don't even need it. So I need to stop doing it. Yeah. So I don't even need to do that. Yeah, so this here is fucking sound for me. I can charge my phones, I can drive to places where I've got great signals. It's working at the minute, but I'm going to stop making videos. Because I couldn't give 2 fucks about anyone in the asylum, any of the mental patients. I couldn't give a fuck about them. Little babies. Little babies. I can't have little babies around me. I am ready for them because I'll just fucking kill them. Because they'll wind me up. And I'd lose the head and just start doing them in. The tools. Fuck them. So, you know, I'm literally going to sit back and watch, learn, and look after myself as and when the shit goes down. Unless someone makes a move, then it's all out. Take as many motherfuckers down as I can do before I go. That's been my attitude my whole life. Fuck them. Everyone else has a bucket list. Yeah, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I want to see Niagara Falls, go to Egypt. Mine is, I'm going to fucking kill that cunt. I'll kill that cunt. I'll kill that fucking cunt. And I'll fucking kill that cunt. If I'm going, I'll take everyone with me. Fuck them. So, you know, it's been the plan my whole life. No point fucking changing it now, is it? So yeah. So yeah, this is great. If I wanted to make YouTube videos and all that, and for fucking Facebook, which is the only reason I make the YouTube ones, I've got everything I need now, but I just can't be bothered. It's not important to me. It's just a case of what will be, will be. 5 years I've been on here. 5 fucking years. 5 fucking years of my life I've been on here. Has it been wasted? No. Because I've come a long way in those 5 years. On a personal level. On a personal level. I better not talk about that because I can't fucking remember whether that was in the fucking video. See, I'm losing fucking... I don't know, I'm not becoming forgetful. I just don't give a fuck about a lot of the information that I know about. So it sort of doesn't really bother me anymore. So I don't remember it as much. Or it doesn't stick out in my mind as much. I'm happier doing rather than thinking and talking about. I've got a lot to learn to get to heaven. For when I get to heaven. Now, I made a video last night, but I've deleted it because I needed to make some fucking space and everything on here. And that's what I was saying. Like, you know, there's no point wasting any time worrying about dickheads who believe shit and don't understand their own words out of their own mouths, which is what this country is full of. Regarding religious people that talk of God and creation, yet have no fucking concept of what creation is, what reality is, what life is, because they only care about going to paradise or heaven. And it does tell you in the Christian, because it's all one religion, and I'm a follower of all the religion of Abraham, which does tie in with all the Hindu shit and all of that as well, because it's all one story if you've bothered to fucking read all the fucking stories and understand what governs the world. Understanding your reality. Don't talk about life if you don't understand your reality, or creation if you don't understand your actual day-to-day fucking reality. Or even understand and comprehend the words out of your own mouth. Because that's the problem with the world. what I was saying, look, I don't care about the black race that's been programmed like that. I don't care about the white race. I don't care about Christians. I don't care about Muslims. I don't care about Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, fucking Buddhists. I care about creation, the landscape, and whatever it is I've got to do to stop the destruction of the landscape. End of. I do not discriminate against anyone. They're all cunts. And if they're here, where I am, I couldn't give a fuck about them. If they end up dead, because they're not where they belong, that's their own fault for not being where they belong. End of. You know, I can't help that. And if they're dead because they're a wacko, that's their own fault as fucking well. Don't bother me. I'm colourblind to all of that shit, wacko bullshit. But yeah, just quickly on this, for the TV series for fucking Netflix and all that, the exampla, yeah, the black race has been programmed, and they are delusional, like on epic scales, and don't understand the words out of their mouth. If racism is being, because what they call racism is people whose land this is, meaning Great Britain, talking about their people, their country, their ancestral land, and being pro their people and pro white, that's racist. Yet being pro your people or black people, pro your ancestors, pro your things is called being black. So, you know, that's how deluded they are. Be careful what I fucking say here. I don't care anyway. What are they going to do? Throw a tantrum? And I'll show them in a couple of seconds that their tantrum is wrong and they should do that. I'm not intimidated by that. Never have been. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, that's what that's called. But that's called racism, being pro your own, isn't it? Or is racism only just anyone saying anything in their direction? So they don't understand what oppression is. They don't understand what a fucking... They don't understand the words out of their mouths. Talk about their roots. And their roots don't belong here. And that's a fact that I won't be debating with anyone. But anyway, fuck them. I couldn't give a fuck about them. I don't give a fuck about anyone. When I'm up in black people, are they my people? My people? No, I've grown up around black people. Hung around with black, mixed raced. Some are mixed raced between fucking Muslim, Pakistanis. I've hung around with a couple of fucking Indians. I had an Indian in my gang at school, junior school. Amrit Pal Singh Panu was a Paki and a poo. Which is what we used to say to him, because we were cunts. Racism was terrible. You know, I had another a mate who hung around with us in high school. Jit the shit. You know? The racism was terrible. You know? So we don't care about, you know, I can't be bothered to feel. Let me tell you the story of Jit the shit, right? Jit. This is fucked up, right? And I shouldn't laugh about this. It's because it's my humour. My humour's very bad. You know, there's nothing good about my humour. And if there is anyone looking and you laugh at me, you know, you're sick of the head. What can I say? But Jit, the shit, stabbed his girlfriend to death. I sort of laugh about this every time I fucking think about it, but it's not even that fucking funny. Jit the shit stabbed his girlfriend to death in Hockwell Ring high-rise flats. And he come up with like the worst excuse ever. It's like the worst excuse ever. Like, shocking excuse ever. He claimed he didn't stab her to death. She stabbed herself to death. That weren't me. She did that to herself. I weren't there. Yeah? I weren't there. So I don't know what happened. So I can't really claim to know what happened. But I'm not sure that that happened. That sounds like someone who's panicked and is trying to bullshit their way out of what they've done. Come up with the worst excuse ever. She stabbed herself to death to get at me. I can't see it. I weren't there. But I'm not sure that that took place. You know, stranger things have happened in the world, like, you know what I mean? But I'm not sure that that's the fucking reality of all. I shouldn't laugh about things like that. But I'm sick in the head. I'm sick in the head. Which is a sign of the mental asylum and how fucked up I am and how fucked up the human race is, that it laughs about the most sick things. It's because the world's a sick place. And what are your choices? What are your choices? Laugh or cry? My brain works in like revolting, disgusting ways. I do laugh about like the worst things on earth, and it's not right that I do that. It's not right that I do that. No, that girl's got family, she's got all of these things. You know, I don't know her, I didn't know her, I didn't meet her or anything. This was just what later on in life when you hear about what's gone on to people that you knew once. I'm calling one of my best mates. He was come around my house enough, he was in my room enough. Fat little fucker, you know. So I've never been. Fucking hell, I put a scratch on that. Anyway, I've never been a fucking. You know, I'm not racist. Is that racist? A few little name calls and a joke here and there at someone else's expense, no. So, you know, I'm not going to listen to any jumped up, irate little fucking dickhead with double standards thinking that they can, well, say anything. So, you know, but it's just so you've got to know the world, know who's dangerous, know who to manipulate. Because if your job is to take down the human race, which it is, whatever way I look at it, you know, it's best to know your enemy, like, to know how that can be used and manipulated for your benefits, just how society does, and what the rulers of society are planning. So yeah, I'm just here to, you know, I know from my own life experience that how racism has worked. I know that it's bullshit, and I know that the children, because I hung around with loads, were nothing but trouble, mugging people. They do everything that they claim that they fucking, and then plead the victim. They're experts at it. Not all. Not all. Not all people are bad in any type of person on earth. You know, Muslims aren't bad. I'm not anti-Muslims. Well, I am anti-Muslim, I'm anti-Christian, I'm anti-religion, but I'm not anti, like, you know, just against them. Some just hard working, want to bring up kids, no different from anyone else, and don't do and act and behave in any way, shape or form like the people that get into the media, that is portrayed with the actors that get into the media, and how the words out of their mouths and all of that. And the problem is that a lot of people in Luton, you know, a lot of people have had bad experiences with Pakistanis, but a lot of Muslims aren't Pakistanis. So I wouldn't judge all Muslims as a Pakistani. And not all Pakistanis are bad either. Just a large amount are. You can actually, and Christians tend to be worse. And what I was saying about the Quran is like a watered down version of the Christian and Jewish books. Just on to play the you know, to give all the sides of the stories. The media will portray like, oh, it's barbaric, they stone people to death and all this. That's in Christian Bible. The Christian Bible is stoning to death and execution for large amounts of things. According to history, which I will use because it's the history of it, it's that Islam is the latter religion after Judaism, which only accounts for such a small amount of people on earth, and they don't actually believe in heaven and hell, or shouldn't have. They don't actually have the notion of that, although they are very confused about what is written in their books as well. And it's not what's written, it's the practices of the churches, the synagogues and the mosques that lead people down the wrong routes to what's actually written, or how it's written. And your interpretation of those quotes and things that are written. But yeah, it's like a watered down version, and their claim is that, oh, the Christian Bible has been changed so many times but the Quran hasn't, so that makes the Quran more valid than the Christian Bible. Yet it has been changed, because not all the countries that read the Quran understand Arabic, so that it's put into translations for those countries where the wording is slightly changed. The Christian Bible and the stories in the Bible is pretty universal. It's just worded slightly different in different versions of that book, so it's not really been changed. It's just slight wordings, which would be no different to the changing of the Quran from Arabic into other languages like Albanian and other African cultures. So, you know, there's no different. And they claim, oh, you think that Jesus is the son of, or call him God. But you're, again, it's like the son of the creator. He's the avatar of the creator, which means it's the creator in human form, which would make them God, or whatever or creator. I don't use the word God, I use the word creator. Would make them the creator in human form, which was what this vague story of the Christ is. So, you know, and they aren't the mad that you can discuss what is written with them on a fairly sensible, more civilized manner than you can with a Christian, because a lot of Christians, I say Christians, African Christians, tend to be a ranting, raving fucking loon. But anyway, it's literally to learn what has taken place in destruction of creation, which for this training program is a place called Great Britain, where Great Britain was split into 5 different countries. 5 different countries in a tiny little 2 little islands that would make up the British Isles. 2 little islands. These 5 different countries. And it was religion that was the cause of that. Catholic and Protestant. It was British, English people was Catholic and Protestant as well. Which is, again, and what has taken place is the condemnation of the Catholic and Christian faith in the media, which has got people to stop believing in those religions and the stopping of the teaching of it in the schools while the foreign invasion has taken place. So that's a reality, that's not a theory, that's taken place in my lifetime. When I first started school, you were taught the books and you were taught religious Christian customs and things which have been taken out of the schools as they've put immigrants in them. So it's the other people's faiths that are being favoured over this one, because this country was conquered in the past, and it's just the plan to conquer the world, which is the plan of Islam. But the stories all match up, and there is 2 jihad, which is a jihad. So part of a Muslim's roots, gates to paradise are jihad, is a jihad, meaning war against non-believers. Now, some interpret that different, but it states that there are 2 types of jihad, which is an inner jihad, which is the war against yourself, which I'm a believer in, which is the war against yourself and the war against sin. So you have to take on a personal war against sin. But the 7 deadly sins are written in the Catholic book. So you have to know all the religions. And the Muslims also believe in Jesus, but they don't claim that he was the Son of God. They claim that he was a prophet. So you should know the teachings of that, meaning that you're slaves, and he tried to free slaves and was murdered for that. So then they claim Muhammad was the latter prophet, but if you look at it, there's hundreds of prophets in the faith of Islam. So wouldn't the Creator then send another one? And the message of Jesus was that there will be a second coming, the Son of Man. So that is part of the message of Jesus, which is the Son of Man who won't bring love to the mental patients, or will bring love, tough love, who's the leader of an army, who is the Christ, who is the conquering King of Kings. So how you interpret it is a different matter. Is the conquering going to go on in here? Well, I've conquered myself, which is the inner jihad, which is the greater jihad. It's the greater jihad, because once you've conquered yourself and become Christ, which everyone can do, which means that you are a complete slave and guided by the Almighty, the Creator, therefore becoming the Creator yourself in human form, an avatar, which is what is written in the Hindu books as well. So they're all connected. They're all connected. It's all one story if you've bothered to read the stories. But what governs the mental asylum is the two tales that have gone on and how you interpret it. And if you look at the Ten Commandments, the Ten Commandments were given to the people by the rulers of society for governance of society, and what took place regarding arranged marriage, which is thou shalt not commit acts of adultery, which is sex out of wedlock, which was organised by the state and which has created a population boom, which has also then overtaken the world because the human beings are breeding out of sync with nature regarding marriage, and they are overpopulating and taking over the world, which is the weapon of the devil. Thou shalt not steal. So you, stealing was against the law, which means that you have to be a slave. Because if you take anything from the authorities, which were the rulers that claimed to be kings, and the owners and the direct descendants of God, and it was their God-given right to take the land, any form of theft was punishable by death, along with adultery. Thou shalt not kill. So you weren't allowed to kill. They were allowed to kill, but the people weren't. The Islamic version takes that to a different, is thou shalt not kill human beings. But then at a latter date, it changes to you should kill non-believers, Christians, Jews. So it is confused and contradictory, like all the books. Thou shalt not covet, which means wanting what others have. Thou shalt honour the mother and father. I don't even know all the Ten Commandments off the top of my head because they're not really that important. Simply just enlightening, if there was anyone to it. Who cares? The books are not reality. There may be a slight story in there to what took place on Earth and what governs the Earth, but it's what governs the Earth that is the problem. And what took place in the manipulation of mankind. But they all benefit the rulers of society. Thou shalt not give false witness against thy neighbour. Which means, and they can be interpreted a number of different ways. Claiming that you know from the past, like you've witnessed it, false witnessed against thy neighbour. So you claim to know what has happened in the past. So you're claiming false witness to what has taken place in the past, but you don't know what's happened in the past. I don't know what's happened in the past. I only know what's happened in my lifetime, which I'm not going to debate with anyone, and no one's going to tell me that this land here hasn't been invaded and is being destroyed, because that's what my eyes have experience as witnessed, then I experience and participate in that. Sorry, I think there's a fucking... They're big. That's car. And there's me in the shot. Praise to the All-Father. You know, I think that is a raven because it's got a crooked nose on it, rather than a straight one. Spooky, man. Fucking spooky. I've lost what I was fucking saying. It has, so what they claim is the Quran is like taken the stories from the original stories, if it was the latter, if Islam was the latter. So it watered down the story of Moses because it doesn't include all the curses that were put onto the Egyptians. So it's taken if it's a latter religion, I'm just using what they call the history books, and what the world is educated that Islam is a latter religion. Then it's watered down the original story of Moses. So it's taken the story of Moses from its original source and watered it down. These books were just used to invade lands and gave people right to do so in the past, or whatever took place. Again, I don't know what took place. Is the human, again, another thought process to it, is the human being a mutant? Crossbreed? It's debatable. It's debatable. Tells you that in the books that when the devil came down, the angels mated with man and produced offspring. Now this could just all be just part of the next agenda, which is to combine the science, which is space and fucking alien shit, with the religion. So it could just be part of that. It could well be that the man itself is a complete mutant. There wasn't, it's not an ape, but there was another form of primate which could be different than an ape. A human being is nothing like an ape in any way, shape or form, and they claim that the connection between ape and human being is that they've got legs and arms instead of having 4 legs. And that some of the bonobos can walk upright, but they don't walk upright at all stages. That's a very vague connection. Again, that fucking wacko little baby that cried because he got called a retard was a believer in mutation. And I said, what? So things just mutate, just change? Yeah, over millions of years though. And that's what you get because you're dealing with a fucking retardant. That makes no sense. It's gunk. You could change a species by crossing it. and create hybrids. That is possible, and they're doing that now with science. So it could be possible that the human race itself is just alien in its existence. Therefore, then, it is just a complete abomination, a complete enemy that holds no value anywhere. So the job is not even to, well, it maybe to get them to behave in certain ways and petrify the little fucking cunts. Spook them out, man. I do see ways of doing it, but it would take a long time to do it. And I'd have had to start it a lot earlier than now. So there's a number of possibilities that I don't rule out on anything. So I don't claim to know, because you can't claim. How am I fucking don't know? I'm still learning. And I'm talking about and theorying about things that I can't see from the past. Maybe I'll find that out at a latter date. What my main aim is to deal with is what my eyes can deal with, and I see and I know as fact. But yeah, thou shalt not give false witness against thy neighbour. So that means that when the authorities come there to do questioning, you're going to grass up your neighbour. So there's a number of different, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit acts of adultery, which is sex out of wedlock, and all of those are punishable by death, which is what the religions did, burning on the stake. I've already been over this, I don't want to go over it again, but yeah, thou shalt not commit honour thy mother and father, which means if they teach you something, you should do it and do as they do, which is a slave. So if a slave is a slave, it just, you're a slave and you believe their bullshit, so you should not ever claim that what they've told you is, it works on the slavery level. Thou shalt not give false witness to thy neighbour is another one. So I've only covered fucking 5 there, because I don't really put that much fucking bollocks into it. I don't follow anything to the word, because if you spend your life looking at reading all the books, then you're not looking at reality. Your head is not in reality, your head is in fiction, make-believe world that lives inside your brain, and you ain't looking at your reality and the world around your ears. And I did that for long enough, reading about all manner of shit on earth, which is what books are, literature. You should read more and become more spastic. Knowledge is not power, knowledge is mental illness, because you could be rattling on about knowledge, about nonsense. There's no point knowing about make-believe history you don't know exists. So why are you spending your time looking at it? It's not important. The past is gone. And I would operate on the premise that, anyone who wanted to talk about the past in my ears, would hurt my head, and I haven't got time to talk shit to you about history, because it's make-believe history. So I'll put them in the past. You want to live in the past, you need to go to the past later. I'll put you in the past. So, yeah, I don't discriminate against anyone. I've never been part of a white people, my people, are made up of all different types of things. I'm also from down here, south. I'm not northern. I only saw northerners at fucking Skiggy. When I went to Butlins, you know what I mean? I'd hang around with the Northerners. You're on holiday, so you bump into the Northerners and hang around with them. You know, they're the same, talk different, slightly different fucking words and sense. You know, they're still English, like, but you know. But yeah. But I can see what's going on there, and the people that claim to be Muslims do everything that they're not meant to do. So if you claim to be that, I claim to be a Christian, but a Christian is against slavery, and religion is slavery. Pagan Christian. So, and that's only for argument's sake. I'm just a man, got to deal with whatever it is I've got to deal with in the fucking world. And if I've got to fucking execute a load of fucking cunts to get a point across, then I'll execute a load of cunts to get the point across. Because there's too many human beings on Earth. And they all operate for the authorities in whatever way they do. So whether you're fucking DJs and you're getting kids onto fucking drugs at raves and all that shit, you're my enemy. If you're preaching about God and heaven in whatever religion you choose to preach against and you're targeting children, you're my enemy. If you're a school teacher, you're my enemy. If you're a fucking doctor, nurse or whatever, you'll be my enemy. So if you work for the councils, you're my enemy. And my experience in my life is that all of those people fuck over everyone. So I feel no ways about, you know, executing anyone who works for them. In the fictional world of the exampla, you know what I mean, for the TV series, because that's what the creator of life needs to do to take down the evil empire. I'll target people of every single race on Earth. I won't discriminate. It's white people, black people, Indian people, slanty-eyed people. It don't matter. I may not be stationary in one country. You may be moving here, there, everywhere, getting the world to implode on itself. I've already been over it. It'll be easier to do that than it is to fight the big battle at itself. So I don't discriminate against anyone. If a human being is a natural creation, which it still could be, and like I said, that all that bollocks is just for manipulation of the thing, wars and for the alien bullshit and all of that, then, you know, you target people for interbreeding. I've grown up around mixed race people my whole life, or half caste they used to be called, and then they changed the language that you use. Does that make it right? No. Just like me bringing up and feeding my son these bottles, just because I enjoyed it in the mental asylum, does not make it right and make that something that should take place. So I'll go along the premise that the human being, for now, is a natural creation of the creator, and they were designed like they're no different from a squirrel or a fox. You have different, or deer or whatever, in different landscapes, in different ecosystems, environments. You have the same animals that have slightly different features that are designed for those ecosystems. Those shouldn't be mixing up and going to different countries and interbreeding. So I'll go on that premise for the time being. My viewpoint on that. Just because I've been mates my entire existence with mixed race people doesn't make it right. Just like it doesn't make it right that I gave my fucking, I was bringing up my boy and feeding my son from a very young age. Doesn't make that right, even though I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed at that moment in time being mates with those people, and I wouldn't be me without them. But doesn't make it right. It's against the laws of creation. So it's not, you know, that I'm not going to get, you know, that would have to stop. So again, you'd need to target everywhere, and you'd need, if your aim is to stop immigration, then your aim would be to target immigrants, like I've pointed out before, to make this the most, to make any country on earth dangerous for immigrants to go to. And the mixing pot starts where they move one to one, like Ireland. It was made up of religious extremists that killed each other over interpretations of the same book and went to war with each other. But most aren't even that. Again, most of that is stories in the media, and what you have are drunks singing songs in pubs. Singing rebel songs when they've never taken part in any rebel activity whatsoever. And I work with quite a lot of Irish people, but now I've always worked with them. I'm actually happier at work working with Irish people. I've been around Irish people my whole life. But they tell me that Ireland now is fucked. And that the rulers of Ireland, who are Irish, and they're separate from Great Britain, are doing exactly the same, England or Great Britain, but they're doing exactly the fucking same there as they've done here, making the Irish the minority in their own land, which is pushing up all the prices and fucking over the Irish. And now they can't blame the English for that. Where are the IRA now? When your land is actually being invaded, nowhere to be seen. Because it was just a load of bollocks to get people to hate the land they were going to invade, to divide the countries, Ireland into two, and the Irish against the English, for when they come here. Where are they now? Where are they now? Because the rulers of Earth are all in it together. They're not at war. That's stories for little babies. It's all just about the takedown of the slaves and the manipulation of the slaves, which would make them God's chosen people, depending on your interpretation of God. My interpretation of God is that God is the devil, in whatever form that takes. God could well be a latter, or the devil. I use word creator. God, or what God could be, is a latter day human, or a more advanced human being that invented machinery and has been able to stay alive for a longer period, and there is a blueprint for recreating his armies, because he can live as just a brain or something like that, like Krang, in a machine that doesn't die. So that's how he's able to live for a long, long time. And there may be a blueprint where you go from place to place to place to place. An angel that went bad, which was a human being that was meant to look after the landscape for the Creator, with the knowledge of good and evil, because you petrify the slaves into believing in eternal, happy, blissful life after death. So, you know, the story is there the greater jihad is the war against yourself, which is the war against your own mental illness. You need to conquer yourself before you can conquer the world. I'm still conquering myself. So I'm not ready to conquer the world yet. And is this world too far gone? Are the mental patients too far gone? Do you need to be there earlier to start sowing the seeds? Maybe. I don't know, I'm not there yet. I also contemplated, oh, this video's getting a bit long, so I'm going to cut it there. But I have contemplated life and death, heaven and hell. Am I being punished? Because my initial thought was that if I lost I was losing my friends and family, and I was being punished, and it was punishment for a past life that I don't know about. That I'm in hell. It's like, but I am in hell. I've been in hell my whole life, and hell takes on many forms. I'll go into that in another video. But I've been blessed. I did make a video yesterday that I deleted. It may be in that one, but yeah, what goes through my head is that, you know, like an arch villain. The only thing I loved in this world, proper loved, or that was my job to care for. I did actually love everyone, my friends, my families, and, well, parts of my friends who are classed as my family. I love being around them. But my job was to look after that boy. So, you know, it's a different love, because it's natural, you're there to look after and care for that child, to get that to adulthood. And your arch villain, I've got your boy, because it's then becomes your kryptonite. Where I'm at now will be that. It's gone. What have you got on me now? Nishkum. You got Nishkum on me. So now I've taken that power away. Which wasn't a very nice experience. But if my job is to take down the evil empire, you've got to let go of love. Because it can be used against you. You can't put anything on a personal level above the job, which is to save creation. Whatever that is. So I've been blessed on every level. So I've never been punished. I've only been gifted. So, you know, it gives me a lot more confidence in a lot of things. I'm over that questioning period. I'm tired of questioning. What if? What about that? I'll leave it at that.